Are you ready to drop the gate for the 2024 motocross season? The track is groomed and it's ready for you. This February 17th and 18th, Horn Rapids Motorcycle Complex drops the gate for the 2024 JMC Motorsports Black Widow Series. Don't miss out on the opening rounds of racing, 25 classes to choose from. Youth and adult racing classes available. Horn Rapids is ready to start the season. Are you? For all information, make sure to head over to hornrapidsmx.com and follow Horn Rapids on Facebook for all updates and other offers. We will see you there.
Pacific Northwest Motocross, are you ready for the 30 Plus 2 podcast with Gravy and Gate Drop? Let's go!
All right, we are live, episode 6 of the 30 Plus 2 podcast. We're here with Gravy once again. Stephen Christoph here with Gate Drop Productions. Grayson, your camera looks a lot better. Are we doing better on the techie side?
I think we finally figured it out. So hopefully it looks a little better. Got to work on some lighting still, but at least the quality's looking better.
I mean, for some reason, our screen swapped and I'm on the other side. So I guess you're in the driver's seat this time. I don't know.
Well, we'll see where that goes. That's kind of scary.
Hey, God, let's see what happens. Nope, we're stuck on this side. So,
Nope.
Yep, Christoph's on the right. You're on the left. So I guess that's how it's going to be. Do we talk about the Super Bowl at all, or do we just not even talk about it?
I don't think we need to.
I know balls were thrown, and I think Taylor Swift won, but yeah, who knows?
Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team won. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, Grayson, we have a packed show tonight. We have former HEP Hep Suzuki rider, Rock River Yamaha rider. He's been around the block. He is 9 points down in Arena Cross USA Championship right now. Ryan Breece will be on later in the show. I know you've seen Ryan Breece on the Suzuki team that Ken Roxon currently rides for, which we'll talk about later on in our podcast. How excited are you to have Ryan on tonight?
No, I'm super excited to have somebody of his caliber, especially only having 6 episodes in. I think we're making some big waves right now by bringing him in. You know, the guy running second place in Arena Cross, bunch of success with Supercross. I think that's freaking awesome to have on our show.
Yes, and if any of you guys are watching on Facebook and any of the groups or on YouTube, feel free to post your comments or questions in. As you can see, I just threw it on the side here to display. If you have questions for Ryan or Grayson or myself and or comments as I slur, feel free to put it down in the comments here and we'll talk about anything you want. Glendale happened this weekend. I was over in Redmond for WHR Arena Cross. That was pretty fun. I have plenty of footage to go through. Did you happen to see my Matt Burkeen style montage YouTube video I posted earlier today?
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm hoping we get some clips tonight, but I saw the post just a little bit ago before I logged in. I'm excited to see. Arena Crash is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, for the amount of oopsies there were, we did pretty good. Not too many injuries, nothing crazy like over the top. So luckily the track was super great for racing action and whatnot, and the classic Arena Cross whoop sections, which Ryan will talk about later on. It's always entertaining You want to check out a couple crash footage that I have here?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, let's jump into some of the highlights. Oh, they both go down.
Skill set.
And like Billy Mays says, but wait, there's more. All right. Well, that's just some of the footage. Yeah, there was a lot jam packed in there for 2 minutes. Check out the full crash montage on Gate Drop Productions YouTube channel. Anything catch your attention there in both those segments there on Arena Crash?
That was way more than I was expecting, but that was pretty crazy. The little 65s were having some troubles with that first turn tough block. It looked like there. That
Oh
was pretty
man.
funny. And then Bentley looks like something happened to his axle there. That was pretty gnarly. I've never seen something like that.
Dude, so Bentley St. Pierre on the Sisters Moto Cobra. It was not Sisters Moto's fault, by the way.
No.
Freak accident happened.
Yep.
He's going around the corner there, and I think Cobra's gonna have some work to do on their swing arms there, because as you could tell, Bentley was pretty upset there that his wheel literally fell off.
He was upset. I don't blame him though. He's getting better each time I see him ride, and you don't want to come into Arena Cross having a bad problem like that. That could have been way worse.
Yeah, I have never seen a wheel literally fall off like that, but here we are in 2024. The unexpected.
Seriously.
One thing that I thought was pretty wild, which I mean, I know it's already a hard enough time. Let's go into the quad segment of our podcast here.
Do we have that? Or we
have a quad segment now.
Oh,
the quads. Dude, they are nuts. As you can tell, that one dude almost sent it into the stands.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel for them not being able to ride and race at many places other than the dunes and maybe like Albany MX if they get more than 5 riders, by the way.
Right.
Dude, the quads were nuts. People were sending it. I wish I had video of 2 other crashes. One dude went off the double section along the wall and went ejecto-ceto mode and got ran over by his own quad. It was pretty gnarly.
That's crazy. Yeah, I quads and arena cross, I feel like just don't mix at
Dustin
all.
says
Like,
that's his buddy.
I've seen some gnarly stuff with the quads at arena cross, especially the last year that we had it here in Salem. I remember watching one of the guys case one of the doubles and bust his axle on his quad and take a little dirt nap for a bit, which that track's narrow enough for a dirt bike. I couldn't imagine wanting to ride a quad out there.
Yeah, no joke. The
No.
quads were getting after it. There was like 9 quads Saturday night. Like it
Wow.
was pretty intense. They were sliding around, and one of the dudes was like pretty much sending it. No one was hitting that huge triple, as you could tell.
Mhm.
That one guy almost sent it over the berm.
Yeah.
The 257, he sent the triple and then he launched the berm and luckily he rode out of it, and luckily no one was going around the backside, because that could have been pretty gnarly
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he got lucky getting so close to that. You know, that's you got to be really careful and know where your clutch is on those things in arena cross. That's for sure.
Yeah. Have you ever checked out the Redmond Arena Cross at all, Grayson?
I have not personally. I haven't made my way down there. I'm a little too lazy to drive that far. I would love to. It looks like a lot of fun.
Well,
One of these years we'll have to carpool or something.
yeah. Next year, which I highly recommend, WHR Motorsports, they do the Monroe AX series up in Monroe, Washington, and then they do a little bit of a tour here and there. And Redmond is definitely a fun one to watch. Saw a bunch of people, a bunch of great racing. Walker Knopp wrapped up the 65 junior class. He was on fire. And then gate drop back KTM rider Zane Fife, first time ever doing arena cross. He finished second in night 1 in the junior class. And then second night, not so much luck, stalled it on the gate, had to go through the LCQ. We made it to the main, and then arena cross stuff happened, and Bentley St. Pierre got into his front wheel and took him down. So we'll see how that rivalry ends up later on in 2024.
They'll be seeing each other here real soon once we get to those dry days.
Yeah, no Weston Pike, Vince
No.
Freezy moments, but that was pretty much what went on there. And then I don't know if this is the heat race or the main event. Let's check out the 250 main. We had Colin Jurin, Oddman, and a couple others. Here's a quick little recap. Yeah, so that was just a taste of it. Sorry I didn't finish the video recording there at the end. I mean, as you could tell, Colin Jurin swept house the whole
Yeah.
weekend. He would get past Hayden Cordell and Ashton Oddman, who is working on racing Seattle Supercross, I believe. That's what I heard from him on the
Nice.
podium. So he's a good follow, too. He's pretty young. I believe he's
Mhm.
17 years old, which that's already dating me, going on 30 now. But as you could tell, the pros are pretty respectful to each other.
Mhm.
Like they nudged it in here and there. Shore Miller got a pretty good start on the 43 M9
Yeah.
Pro Caliber Husky. And yeah, the track started getting pretty dry slick. Have you ever dealt with conditions like that where it's pretty dry and you're just trying to keep two wheels on the ground?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've ridden Salem Marina Cross for many years, and we all know how hard slick that can get real quick. We got a full Wednesday night of practices, and then going into Friday night races and stuff like that. That dirt would get pretty shiny out there. There'd be some blue groove every once in a while too, which is pretty fun. But it's just learning that throttle control and learning how to just keep a nice steady pace and not get too much wheel spin out of there.
Yeah, definitely. So that's pretty much a wrap with Redmond Arena Cross. I will eventually, over time, get more reporters, and if this podcast continues to grow and whatnot, we can do like regular recaps. If I had more time, I would have narrated on top of that footage. So my bad there. Like I said, we doing this for free, and I have 25 Instagram reels to do.
Right. No,
19 more to go.
I, I think the raw footage though is awesome. A lot of people I know I enjoy watching the raw footage from like press day and Supercross and things like that. So I think even if we get any kind of footage in there with cover on the weekend, it's great. We don't need to put a lot of pressure on you. We know you got a lot on your plate, especially
Dude.
you had like a 3-day weekend, so you're
Yeah,
you're you're you're, you're pushing it.
for me, I thought about it at like 10 o'clock in Redmond. I'm all like, well, I'm going to Eugene for Sunday. Do we leave at 6 a.m. or right now? And we decided
Right.
right now. So we rolled in at 1 a.m. and Eugene was pretty good. Track layout was super epic. I
Hmm.
told Ryan and Brian, keep this track layout the way it is. It was very flowy. We did get a little bit of rain, so it got slick there a little bit. I did not take any footage because I hung out under a fir tree for a little bit of the day. And then a couple of red flags just kind of slowed down the racing. So I ended up leaving there halfway through the second motos because I needed to get media done and get on to the next part of my life. So Eugene was pretty good. Grayson, you do anything this weekend moto wise before we jump into Supercross recap and then have Ryan Breece on here in just a little bit?
Nope, I was just creeping on your social media, seeing what was going on. I sat at home, watched Supercross on Saturday, and that's kind of all the moto I had in me this weekend.
Yeah. Well, jumping into Supercross action, Ryan Breece will be coming on in about 15, 20 minutes. He's got prior interviews and whatnot that's going on, but Breece will be on. So we look forward to talking to him. The race in Glendale, that track layout was huge. I mean, that's something that I would like to see like as a finale. What do you think of the track layout for the pros this weekend?
I personally really like the longer tracks for myself. I think it's cooler, and I feel like for the riders too, you got a little less track time for the track to degress over time. So
Yeah.
we're not running 30 laps in a main event like on the 40-50 second lap time. So I think it turns out I feel for better racing, and you're not getting into lappers as much. I enjoy it, and the big rhythms though they're pretty sketchy. That these guys are
Yeah.
going so damn fast, and like we saw on a couple occasions, those rhythms can really jump up and get you if you miss one little time.
Well, yeah, that first rhythm section was like a football field and a half. You'd come out of
Hmm.
the first turn, as you could tell in that first heat race, which got, again, just like Eugene, here we had multiple red flags,
Yep.
even in pro supercross. Like Nate Thrasher, hopefully he'll be all right, but
Yeah.
he came up way short on that one jump and it pogo sticked him. And I
Yep.
mean, I agreed with Ricky and was it Lee that was announcing this time? I
I
think it
think so.
was.
Yeah.
But
I usually mute him. I'm not honestly sure who was talking.
he got really lucky, like going over the bars like that. I
Hmm.
mean, it would have been nice if he landed on that tough block, but he
Yeah.
somewhat landed in some soft dirt
Yep.
there. But
Yep.
were, instances like back when Ken Roxon was on Honda in 2017. Like if he got pogo sticked into a face of a jump, like we've seen
Hmm.
Ken Roxon had, major arm injuries. So I think, Thrasher will
Yeah,
come back. Unfortunately, that probably ends even a title chance for him now after the bad
yeah,
luck he's had at Anaheim 1 and now DNSing, not being able to do this main event. They go into the break. I don't expect him to not like miss anything in the future since they have 6 weeks off. He has time to
right.
recover. Do you think Thrasher will bounce back? I think we go back to what, Seattle?
I think Seattle, yeah, is the next one once the West gets kicks back in. I don't know that's really tough to call. He's had a good run, but this injury, who knows? Maybe it's going to get in his head, and hopefully he can bounce back and still have the confidence he had going into this weekend. But you never really know. Injuries can be weird for certain people. They can take them out mentally, or honestly make them stronger when they come back. You never really know what he's going to do.
Yeah, and just to continue on before we go into the main event, Red Flags sure messed up a lot of
Hmm.
stuff, especially in that LCQ for
Yep.
Jorgensen out of Denmark. He was leading it, pulling away with 2 minutes left to go, and I was shocked that they did a full restart
Yeah.
with 2 minutes to go. I guess with the lap times not being past 50% lap wise, I mean, when they did the restart, it screwed Jorgensen because he got
Yeah.
cleaned out in the first turn. The bikes were stuck together, but hey, 41-year-old Billy Laninovich
Another
makes
one.
it in on that second restart.
Yep.
How'd you feel about what was your
The,
opinion with Billy making it in for the second time now?
I'm stoked for the guy. He's always been one of my like favorites. Not top guys, but I've always looked for him, and his style is next to none. Especially when he was on that factory. Well, I don't know if it was Geico at the time or whatever it was.
Yeah, he
Factory
was on
Connection.
Factory Connection Geico
Yeah,
Honda.
yeah, that, and he just always had awesome style, and he was always one that he could do it. He could pull off wins, but he wasn't like the championship guy. But to see him come back at 40 years old, like that's astonishing. We don't get those types of ages in Supercross like ever. So it's really cool to see this guy come back and still run up front in the 250 class. I feel like he hasn't lost much of his steps at all.
Yeah. And I'd have to check results, see where he ended up. I'm sure he's past 15th there, but hey,
Yeah,
he still made the main event, and that's
but
all that matters.
they had the rough turnaround again like they did last week. They had to go straight basically from racing that LCQ straight to the line for the 250 class, unfortunately. So no, and he was probably pretty gassed after basically running a full another heat race because with that restart, how much more time it added. So he was probably
Yeah.
pretty gassed going into that last one. So just making it in is a huge accomplishment, and he shouldn't be upset in any way.
Yeah, I just pulled up the results. He got 19th. What do you think
Mhm.
of this new change that they have going on right now for the program? I I mean,
Mhm.
I know they want to like, keep where's my screen? Where am I? There I am. I have like 7 tabs open. I don't know how I feel about it because the 250 guys get screwed doing the
Mhm.
LCQ and then turn
Yep.
around and get back on the gate. Like we talked
Yep.
about that with Base Flug, and
Yep.
Preston uh, actually thought he liked it better because it kept his intensity up. But
Hmm.
maybe it's just a viewer thing for us, and the pros don't have to worry about that. What do you think about the new program change?
I I'm not honestly a fan. I really liked starting with the 250 guys. I don't know. Personally, I feel like we should be saving the top guys, for a little bit later on. But if the pros aren't having a problem with the turnaround from the LCQ, which I'm sure some of them will at some point start to get frustrated with that, but that was my biggest thing was the concern of are we going to get the best out of these, last four guys sneaking in through the LCQ. Like, are they at a disadvantage? Is it really fair to them? Like Preston was saying, it was a good thing for him. It kept him going, and but I feel like also that could gas you pretty quick. You just literally got off the line, and are you going to be able to go for what is it, 15 minutes plus a lap? Like, I feel like it'd be rough.
Yeah. And we'll just see how it goes on. I believe we have a weekend off after,
Yep.
this past weekend. So we'll
Yep.
jump back into the East Coast and whatnot. But taking in the main event again, I should have made a title card and called it the Levi Kitchen Show. Kitchen
Hmm.
grabs the whole shot. I mean, he is just perfection right now.
Yep.
He's got the starts figured out. And for me, it looked like he kind of did what Hampshire was doing in San Diego, minus the whole, blowing it on the final lap. It looked like he rode pretty conservative there,
Yeah.
being the red plate holder. Crashes happened. Jordan Smith really blew it. What do you think
Hmm.
about Jordan Smith's first crash? Because he took over the lead, and
Yeah.
then I believe they were slowing down for D Francisco.
Yep.
What do you think about Jordan Smith's kind of uh-ohs there?
He wasn't. I feel like it was just kind of a fluke there with Kitchen rolling that jump, and he was being extra cautious. And I feel like if he didn't need to roll that jump so quickly there with that first mistake when you know Smith was rolling it early or jumping onto the table as he was rolling it. That was a crazy just race incident, and that would really suck to have that kind of a problem happen battling for the lead. And I don't know. You can't really be mad at Levi for being cautious, though, especially. So that's a tough one. I'd be pissed if I was, Smith, but you can't really be too mad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I think that's gonna bite Smith
Hmm.
going on when he
Yeah.
comes back to Seattle. Luckily they have a break so he can kind of clear his head and whatnot.
Hmm.
But that really puts some a gap now for points now.
Yep.
That gives Levi a 4-point lead, which I feel is pretty comfortable still. RJ Hampshire, he kept it calm, cool, and
Hmm.
collected and got past Levi. And like I said, I think Levi was just riding on the conservative side, didn't want to make a mistake because
Hmm.
consistency is
Yep.
key. So I think, the 4 points is really big, and we know how Hampshire is. He has a tendency to sometimes get a little whiskey throttle and throw it away. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens going into our home turf now for Levi. Um, how do you think the crowd size is going to be? Are we going to have like an Area 51 style like we did for Villapoto for Levi Kitchen, Area
I think
47 or so?
I honestly think it's going to be huge coming in this year. Especially on the PC team. He's got. I feel like he's in the right spot for him, and coming home to Seattle area where pretty much his probably entire family and friends are going to be there. So that's just going to boost his confidence, and just let's just hope we don't get a rain. Like we usually do every year. A little bit of rain, I think, will be okay, but I think if we keep it dry, we should have some really good racing and even more people coming out of the woodworks to watch this one.
Well, I feel like the last couple of years, Seattle's been pretty good, actually. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had some to where it's been a complete mutter. Uh, I don't quite remember which one that was the last time I went. I'm very on again,
Hmm.
off again with the whole Seattle
Yep.
Supercross thing. How many times have you gone up to Seattle?
I've gone a lot, honestly. I went to all the ones like the late '90s, early 2000s. I was going almost every single year. I remember being a little kid and crying when they imploded the Kingdome. That meant no more Supercross, so I was pretty upset
Yeah.
about that. But once it made its comeback in like was it '04 or '05, somewhere around there, I went for multiple years in a row, and now I'm finally at the point where I play it by ear. I see how the weather is coming into the weekend and ticket availability and stuff like that. But this year I really want to try to go, but so that's why I'm really hoping that the rain holds out. I'm a fair weather fan
Yeah, I mean, also there are spots in
that are covered.
Seattle that are covered, so like
Yeah.
you do pretty good there. And then I like that they moved the fan fest from the parking lot to
Yeah.
inside the building, so that's always a good time. And I know Ryan Breece coming on in about 15 minutes. He's actually gonna do Seattle once they're done with Arena Cross.
Hmm.
Um, Going into 450 main, is there anything else to touch on the 250s class? I didn't feel like there was much
No,
of anything else going on.
not really. I think that you pretty much hit it all on the nail on the head.
Yeah. So jumping in as we fill time. Thanks for all the people hanging out. We do promise Ryan Brees will be on here in just a bit. I know keeping everyone on the edge of their seats.
Right.
450 main, it was just like the 250 main, but this time Ken Roxon grabs the whole shot,
Yep.
pulls away, and that pretty much is all you got to say.
I was stoked. I was really stoked to see that he pulled another one off. Not only for him after all the stuff he's been through and with the arm injuries and whatnot for years and troubles with Honda, but now getting on a bike that was considered to be, the worst bike out there and being able to prove that it's still a damn good bike. It's just you really need to know how to ride that thing.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the post race podcast that Steve Mathis does on pulpmx.com,
Mhm.
and he was talking to Larry Brooks, and Larry is the team manager
Yep.
for Twisted Tea Progressive Suzuki. And he said that Kenny doesn't really change anything on his bike. I find that
Mhm.
amazing. It's just pure talent oozing out of Kenny,
Mhm.
where he doesn't do anything on his bike and he can just, when he's feeling good, he rides good. And now we have a different winner once again, and he has closed
Mhm.
the points up. This is what he needed to get
Yep.
back into this points chase.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great for his confidence. He really needed this, and I'm glad that it came fairly early in the season too, because we still have a long ways to go before we reach the end. So I think this is what he really needed to light a fire under him to come out and just be even more consistent. He's kind of had a rough start here and there, some flashes of brilliance, and then a little bit of nothing at the same time. So I think he really needed this, and it's really cool to see. I love seeing the Suzuki on top.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what would have happened, woulda, coulda, shoulda, because Aaron
Hmm.
Plessinger got a great start. He was
Yeah.
a heat winner as well. He was pushing it there at the beginning and
Hmm.
then tucked the front. And at first, before I went and looked at the points on this podcast, I was like, well, there it goes. It's over. AP's done. But
Hmm.
he's still
No,
pretty
he's
close
still in there.
into it. He's only
Yeah.
9 points back. So we're not dead yet. So the
No.
Cowboy still has a chance. Were you feeling like AP was gonna mix it up with Roxon at all, or did you, like you just said
I
earlier, was it just all Roxon?
I think it was just an all Roxon show this weekend. AP held his own and did what he needed to do to keep the title hunt right there in his grasp. So I think going into the next few weeks, if he keeps being consistent and one of these days, I feel Chase is gonna make a mistake like he usually does each year, and AP is gonna be there to capitalize and slowly creep up and get that red plate back. I think.
Yeah. Um, Anderson, I barely noticed
Uh,
him. He
yeah.
was very consistent, rode around in
Hmm.
second the entire time and finished
Yep.
there. He was kind of in the middle of no man's land with
Yeah.
not being able to catch Roxon and then everyone else not being able to catch Anderson. That was pretty
Yep.
good for him. I wonder, like, when you're alone like that, riding for the
Hmm.
position you're in, like, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about dinner? Are you thinking about
Right.
like hitting your marks? We'll have to ask that
Yeah.
what Ryan thinks about when he rides around by
That's
himself.
that's just he's got it. The only thing he's probably thinking is just clicking off laps, or I'm sure he knew that Jet was behind him, so like he's probably like, if I just stay far enough in front of him, we're not going to have to deal with his attitude coming into this race.
Yeah.
Surprisingly though, this weekend I did actually get the top three correct on my RM fantasy.
Oh,
Surprisingly, I don't think I've ever accomplished that in all these years, getting all three right. But I got to brag a little bit because I'm pretty happy with. I just went with choosing something fun, and it ended up being right finally for the first time in many years.
I think I failed. Let's look at my previous picks again. I put Jet Lawrence for first, Sexton for second. We'll talk about Sexton. Webb third, Roxon fourth, Plessinger fifth, Eli Tomac eighth. I blew everything up. Roxon, Anderson, Lawrence, Tomac, Hunter Lawrence, and Malcolm Stewart eighth. Which, hey, great for Malcolm Stewart. I swear,
Yeah.
I think both Christian Craig and Malcolm Stewart were on suicide watch up until this point, because unfortunately that Husqvarna Rockstar team has been really, really struggling
Yep.
in this stacked 450 field. So great to see Malcolm in the heat race get back into it. And then I don't know, is this the load of confidence he needed to get back towards the front?
I'm hoping so. I really like Malcolm, and I've always liked him ever since Geico days and what was it, the Troy Lee Honda days and stuff like that. I'm really hoping for something big for him. He deserves it. He puts in the work. He, we always hear through the off season that he's one of the fastest guys, at the track. But I'm still waiting to see it at an actual race, and I hope it does show up eventually.
Yeah, and then speaking about bounce backs, I mean, we saw the complete confusion and whatnot. I saw multiple fake stories with Eli Tomac on
Yeah.
setup, arm pump, ankle, just whatever. I mean, you don't really get much out of Eli on his social
No.
media or anything, but hey, he was in third for the majority of the time. He eventually
Yep.
got passed, but I would put my hat, or however you want to say it. I would take that fourth place with
Mhm.
I'd
No, that
take
was
it.
good. No, that was good. It's what I feel like he needed too. Like you're saying, he'll take that right now, especially after coming back from the bad weekend of fading and not having a very good start to the year. So this is what he needs. We haven't seen the last of him. It's still, like I said, it's what, 5 rounds in, 6 rounds in, and
Yeah.
there's still a lot to go. I think he's just going to get better from there.
Um yeah, I just think that hopefully he needs to, I will say this, he needs to start clicking off wins though, because it's
Hmm.
kind of reminded me of 2002 Jeremy McGrath after he got
Yep.
dethroned by Carmichael in 01 with the whole arm pump stuff, and just
Hmm.
he just seems to be just slightly off, but it's making me feel like this is probably going to be his final year regardless. I know he wanted to come back and
Hmm.
finish on top, but with his stuff that he may be dealing with, I mean,
Hmm.
I just appreciate he's out there. I
Yep.
know in Kawasaki times, I was not really I was
Hmm.
not, I'll be honest, I was not a Tomac fan much of him, but
Hmm.
everyone turns around and you
Yeah.
eventually like everyone.
All right, that's true. I felt the same way. That the factory Cowie Eli was kind of a robotic, kind of like the Dungy used to be. You know what I mean? But
Hey.
hey, but I respect the guy. And he's one of the best riders there is, and you can't take that away from him. You might not be a fan for a little while, but you come around to really appreciate what he's done and what he's accomplished in his years in the sport.
Yeah, and Jet Lawrence bouncing back.
Yeah.
I'm neutral at Jet,
Hmm.
but my assumption after the nationals and everything, I'm like, oh, he's just gonna win out. So he is actually beatable. So getting
Hmm.
that third place, he does get the points lead back, and I don't know what's going on with Sexton. I mean, they said he has a hand injury, and it looked like it really showed. He looked like the like autopilot Chase Sexton.
Hmm.
I've never seen this type of Sexton. What'd you think of his riding and just pretty much surviving out there?
I think he was just, like you said, trying to survive out there and just salvage what he could for the night. And if there is this injury that's actually there, whatever it is, let's hope he can get healed up from that and start to push himself a little bit more here soon. I'd like to see him capitalize and come out on top with this new team, and he's a good kid and he's still got a lot of racing to do, and we'll see. Maybe this year might not be it for him, but that doesn't mean he's out of the picture, for the rest of his career. I think he's going to bounce back pretty good.
Yeah. He's 6 points down. Um, I wish I looked at the schedule to see if there was a for sure break or not.
I'm pretty
I
sure we get the break here, and then I don't know if we go to Daytona next or what the one is before that. I'm not 100% sure.
2024 Supercross schedule. Anything else you've caught your eye as I look at the schedule here?
No, not a whole lot. I think we pretty much covered most of it. Like I was saying, those long rhythms though, I feel like that also helped Kenny. He's got them rhythms down. Remember Red Bull straight rhythm a few years ago? He dominated everybody. I think those long rhythms really fit his riding too. So that was, I think, why he was able to gap the rest of the field pretty quickly.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Sorry, I'm just pretty much ignoring you, so you're the filler.
No, you're
We do
good.
have
I'll fill it.
we have the 1 week break here, and then we go to Arlington, then
Hmm.
Daytona.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of break. That kind of helps out everyone.
Yeah.
Jimmy writes it in there for us. Thank you. Our on track reporter. He was actually
He was there.
flagging once again. Maybe we just throw him in here for the moment as we wait for Ryan Breece in 5 minutes.
Right. We got 5 minutes. Do we got a
We
Jimmy?
got
Do we?
5 minutes.
Let's get a 5-minute Jimmy story. It's a new segment.
Yeah, 5-minute Jimmy story. I don't have them in my just see. Yep. Well, Jimmy, I don't know how to invite you, so that's how we roll here. But yeah, sorry, I'm just filling in space. We originally were gonna have Ryan on earlier, but like I said, he's got some stuff going on. We'll see if Jimmy joins. I just sent him the link.
He's got to be a busy guy, you know, with running second in arena cross. I'm sure he's not got a lot of time to give out right now. He's got a pretty big focus.
Yeah, he definitely really close points battle going on. I sent an invite to Jimmy. We'll see if our on flagger reporter will join us or not. He's probably, got his hair all over the place. He doesn't want to look pretty on the camera. But going into the points, Aaron Plessinger's 9 points back. Webb's 10 points back. Roxon's moved up to 15 points back. And yeah, we actually have Jimmy trying to get his stuff set up. So he has joined. I'm just waiting to see when he is ready.
Right. Now
it might be he's ready.
There we go.
Look at that ugly face.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry, y'all caught me in the middle of making dinner. I'm cooking and listening, but
I
was
like, broom in your hand, man. Do you ever like take a break from work or what?
I wish I could.
How was Glendale for you as we wait for Ryan Breece to be on here in 4 minutes and then we get to kick you out,
Oh yeah, it's all good. Kick me out when you need to. It went pretty well. I mean, it wasn't quite as warm as I was hoping, but hey, at least it was dry. During practice and stuff, turns out the Glendale, they have a retractable roof. So they had it cracked open during practice and all that, and then during the night show they had it open completely.
Was there a chance of rain at all, or were your people guarding the sprinkler heads from you? Because so far, everywhere you've gone, it's rained, and now I don't know. Did you fix something? What was the weather report there?
Well, I've been kind of keeping an eye. I always keep an eye on the weather throughout the week during the races just to see, make sure that it's not going to be another mutter, hopefully. But it was looking like there was supposed to be some rain this weekend, but it ended up dry, so not too bad.
Right.
So I guess the curse is over, and it's not you. So
hey, no, we didn't lose no water pipes, so that's a good sign.
we're just gonna have to wait to Seattle and see what really happens.
Hopefully that doesn't end up another mutter. I've yet to work in Seattle that's been a mutter, thankfully.
Right. Here's one for you. I was watching race day live. How bad is that glare during like the sun coming through that roof? Because there was a couple turns I saw. It looked like they were being blinded. Was that pretty gnarly, or was it just like an illusion on TV?
I'm not sure where I was. I never really caught any of the sun. Because I don't know if either of you guys seen the picture that I posted my POV from the weekend, but I was where it says B red in the corner. There's the B red side and then there's a C red side. And I was facing the B red side.
I think that might have been the C side.
Is your fire alarm going off?
My oven is. Sorry. Like I said, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner over here.
They just throw you on here.
Fire alarms
Did any bikes go flying at you in your section? I know Clayson got cleaned out over in that area. Was there any sketchy moments?
Clayson, he got taken out in the other corner, not quite where I was.
Okay.
So, again, sorry for all the background mess I got going on. Clayson got taken out in the corner behind me. Barsha got taken out right in front of me.
Yeah, that's what we didn't touch on. What happened to Justin Barsha?
He was kind of trying to make his way through the pack, and then he got tangled up with someone in that corner. I don't remember who he got tangled up with, and I don't remember if he was trying to pass them or they were trying to pass him. But somehow or another, he ended up on the ground right in front of me. And I think it was a 250 LCQ. There was another rider that got taken out right in front of me. But at least I didn't have to play dodge bike like I did in San Diego and San Francisco.
Yeah, but at least you had your arms busy on waving that flag for everyone.
Right.
Yeah, well, luckily too this time around I didn't have to be quite so hyper focused on where I was. So I had time to actually take a look around and call in the fall downs like I'm supposed to over the radio.
Well, we just got one of those spam comments in the thing there.
That's great.
Oh boy. Well, anything else to report on, Jimmy, as we hopefully get Ryan here in just a moment. I'm just waiting for him to jump on. Anything that caught your attention during Glendale or Supercross?
You guys, I don't know if you guys covered it or not, but it seemed like Hunter Lawrence was doing a lot better than he had been doing all year. He finally looked close to where I was kind of expecting him to be. Finally, in where I feel he should have been. Tomac, yeah, he had his, a lot better weekend than he's had so far this year for the most part.
Yeah,
But
seemed like Hunter had a really good comeback there for himself. I'm sure he needed that for, again, his confidence.
yeah. So I'm pretty excited for him. As far as the Lawrence brothers, the only reason up until the whole Jason Anderson thing, the only reason I could find to not like them was just they're not on my preferred brand of bike. I might have mentioned that last time I came on here.
Honda
But,
hater.
More just they're doing too good for not being on a Yamaha as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, we're still waiting on Ryan. Jimmy, if we got nothing else for you, we're just gonna leave you alone so you can get back to whatever you're cooking.
Meatloaf, yeah, sorry about that.
Nice.
Ma meatloaf.
Mama's in Vegas this weekend, so.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping on here. Hopefully we get to retain our viewers as we wait for Ryan to get on.
Well, thanks for having me. Sorry, like I said, sorry for all the background mess I got going on.
This is Flagger Jimmy's Corner. And there's Ryan Breece. So get out of here, Jimmy.
All right, cool. Well, I'll keep it here. I'll keep listening while I'm cooking. Later, y'all.
Later.
Catch you later. All right. Well, that was Jimmy Marquez. Now that you've all been waiting for, I don't have anything good to put on here other than just people yelling from Anchorman.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
It's Ryan Breece, and he's portrait style. You can rotate that if you want, unless you want us to just be looking up in your nose there.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix the cam, so we're going with it. What's up, guys?
How are you? Right, here, let me see if I can adjust this. There we go. It's better. How goes it, Ryan? Thanks for jumping on here. Everyone's been waiting patiently. How's Arena Cross been going for you?
Hey, it's going good. It's going good. We got a 3-week break now, so just take this week, chill out for a little bit, and kind of rehab a little bit, and then go back at it, man. We're excited.
Yeah, so originally I heard you on Pulp and X show. We were telling everyone here you used to ride for Ken Roxon's team, HEP Suzuki, and then Rock River at one point. You said you were going to do Supercross, and we haven't found you behind the Supercross gate. What's been going on?
Yeah, no Supercross. I think a couple days before that there was a quick change, but everything I think is going the right way. So made a great decision and excited for what's to come. I'm soon to be hopping into some Supercross. So just it was just a good rebound year for me to kind of get some gate drops, and then hopefully we can finish out this year strong.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you going to be jumping in Supercross at Seattle?
I will be there. Yes. That won't be my first one, but my next race will be though.
Okay, sweet. How's the Arena Cross action been going for you? I know you said you were originally going to do Supercross and then plans changed. Did it just happen to be you were way too good for Arena Cross, so you had to stick around for that?
No. You work your butt off to do what you do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just a good opportunity for me. So we got to mix it up, and then also during preseason, I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be and where I thought I should be going into Supercross. And when I go racing, I want to make sure I compete and know that I can actually do it. So, yeah, it felt good to go get this opportunity for Arena Cross, and then after a couple races, it was like, yeah, you're kind of ready to go. So we're back. We're going. We're excited, man.
Yeah. Grayson, you got any questions?
I had one. I was hearing that you're riding the 450, and a lot of guys opt to ride the 250 for Arena Cross. Is that something that you chose to do, or you just had the bikes and that's what you're just rolling with?
Actually, I set my program up for Supercross. Mm-hmm. I was going to be doing the 450 Supercross, so I haven't done any testing on the 250. I was very, I shouldn't say shy about the 250F, but also packing 170 pounds around on a 250F isn't your worst nightmare, right? So
right.
Yeah.
We just have a really good package on the 450. Everything came to clutch on that thing, and then it was kind of, now that it was open for arena cross, it was just an easy transition for me. It can, sometimes there's a disadvantages when the track is tight. There's only 2 lanes, and then you got a finish line. So that kind of gets a little bit tight there, but at the same time, done a lot of changes to the front end, so starting to manage that turning radius. So that's kind of the big decision on the 450, and by all means, I think we chose the best route, man. I can move that thing around. I can lean where I want to lean, and then also the whoops have been, they haven't been so big, but at the same time, sometimes they're long and they're little, and it's been a good choice for me.
Nice.
Is the 450 helping you like majority on the start compared to everyone, or is it still pretty even with the 250s racing?
Nah, 450, it definitely has the jump. It's probably the biggest advantage you could possibly do. It's kind of crazy that they do run a 250 even though it's open, but I also understand the size and weight of people. So
here's my curiosity question. I don't know if you would know it or not. With Kyle Peters running the 250, do you have to stick with a certain bike size once you start the series, or would he be able to swap to a 450 if he felt like it?
You can swap up. You can change even after practice. You can change your bike. I think there's been a couple racers, so they'll race like the first race in with a 250, and then they'll switch up to a 450. You just have to make sure that you're teching in the bikes that you're racing for the night.
Okay. Yeah. That's something that I was curious about, because I know with all the stuff we've seen on Arena Cross USA and whatnot, and all the promos, like they're really hyping you up. You're 9 points down now. How did Reno go for you this past weekend?
Oh man, Reno was strong. It really was. It was kind of crazy because I didn't get to ride all week before. We had a little transition on getting to some Supercross stuff. I tested on Sunday, which was weird. I had to fly home Saturday or Sunday morning, and then I got on the bike around, I don't know, my flight got in about 12 o'clock, and I went right to the track at Club, and tested some stuff for a couple hours, and then didn't ride from Monday to Thursday. So that was a little weird for me. I'm usually riding at least twice a week, so it was sometimes that gets into your brain a little bit, and it can kind of mess with you. And we know how much mental it is here racing, but it was a good chance for the team to keep on going and try to see if we can't plug away at this thing.
Yeah. So you mentioned Club MX. What's your program like this year?
My program is absolutely gnarly. I don't think I've ever been to something that I fully invested in 100% of the time. It's crazy at this age too. I'm 28 years old and been around the block a little bit. This is my 11th year racing at this level. So I just kind of went full swing at things. It was kind of delayed, but at the same time, it was almost better for the rehabilitation side of things and making sure that I knew I was 100% ready to go. And then once that green light hit on and we saw those lights start popping up, it was like, we're ready to go. So we changed up a lot of things. I went to the East Coast this year, and I haven't done that ever in my life. But I think just with how the dirt is working over there and the training side of things, it's probably been the biggest help for me.
Yeah. So for amateurs, what do you recommend, since now you've gone over to the East Coast? We had Base Flug on last weekend. He's been working with Kevin Windham and whatnot. How's it feel like going to that east side of the United States for training purposes versus California?
Crazy you say, because I'm having dinner with the boss man himself, Seth Milhorn.
Oh, yeah?
He sent his kids over to the Tap House in Texas. And I'll tell you what, I think that is probably the best thing you could possibly do, is get out of your house, get out of your home, send your kids a different direction and see what they can do with it.
Nice. Well, we know the Milhorns pretty well.
Yeah. Good people all around, man. It's exciting. It's exciting to see that there's opportunity elsewhere. And if you guys want to reach the next level, you've got to get out of your home if it's not available.
Yeah. We'll keep you only for 5 more minutes if that's cool with you, Ryan.
Awesome. No worries.
Feel free to jump in at any point. I usually have the upper hand because once Ryan and I go pretty way back, so I'm just shooting off the hip with questions here.
No, you're good.
No sweat. But you kind of reflecting back on Reno. We're with Elevation a little bit. Granted, the main events are so quick; they're 5 minutes and 9 minutes, I believe it is, or maybe 7.5. So super quick. But you could see a couple of guys struggling there, and I actually tend to get my flights the latest as possible. So I'll fly in Thursday night. Usually we do, since we have Friday racing, we do a late fly in Thursday night, and then breathe that air as less as possible unless you're trained to it, you know.
Yeah. That's kind of the similar how we just had a Redmond Arena Cross. I don't know if you've seen any of my footage yet of all the crazy racing action. I know I talked to you earlier on the phone. They did roughly, I think, the same amount, the 5-minute races and 9 minutes, and during cleaned house. Are you going to be jumping into any local stuff once you're done with Arena Cross and Supercross? What's the rest of your 2024 look like?
What a stud. I like that. Good to hear Jern's kicking some butt at home. That's cool. Yeah. I've always liked to see all the local boys still racing, you know what I mean? Especially when they're a dad. It's pretty cool to see. I might be changing things up. I don't really know. We're trying to get some points to be in the SMX series. So if I need to hit a couple nationals, we're just trying to figure out what's going to work best for me. Obviously, being home is good. There's a lot of local races and stuff. But, just trying to figure out some stuff. Our main focus really is just we got to get these Arena Cross rounds done. And then, obviously, I kind of want to be a competitor here in Supercross at the end of the day. So, yeah, that's the goal. That's the vision.
How many races do we have left on the schedule for Arena Cross? Looks like
4 races. We've got 4. Daytona 3 weekends in a row, and then it'll finale at Vegas. And then in the meanwhile, we've got a couple Supercross races, and then the last 6 of Supercross. I think there's a couple West Coast, and then obviously 4 in the middle there are East Coast. So familiarized with that East Coast dirt, which is nice. Riding a couple different tracks at club, and it's been fun, man. It really has. Got a couple different settings and with the suspension and whatnot.
I was gonna say, with you mentioning that you're on the East Coast now, are you like even more confident now with Daytona being like the last 3 of 4?
I'm actually stoked for Daytona. We've been putting in like a little replica outside of one of the club facility tracks, and so can start to run a little bit of that sand stuff. I think in previous videos I've been watching the Enduro Cross in Daytona because they've never had an Arena Cross there, and it looks pretty rutted, a little loose dirt, and it's kind of it's just nice to see because we've been mixing it up out there.
Yeah, Grayson, any final questions?
I got a random one. So you're what? Almost, you said 28, 30 or so?
Yeah. I walk like I'm 40. I run like I'm 20.
I can relate.
Keep it going.
I was just gonna say, like, did you ever watch any Arena Cross back in the day, like 90s, early 2000s? And if so, did you have any like favorite racers that were racing Arena Cross back then? Because I know I had my personal favorite, Denny Stevenson. So I'm always curious to see who people rooted for back in the day, if they ever did.
Yeah, I never watched Arena Cross. I kind of wish I did. I never watched Arena Cross though. It was kind of more like the Supercross thing. And, hearing all the stories, and then obviously flashbacks you kind of see when you look at where you're going that weekend. You see some old footage and whatever. But it's cool to see. But I never have. Obviously the main goal is Supercross, right? Like no one wants to. Wants to race the tight Arena Cross stuff, but it's kind of been in my back alley, and then maybe a little bit of a prolonged career there. So
yeah, for sure,
good opportunity.
Well, sweet. Besides Seattle, what other Supercross races are you hoping to attend?
I'll be at every single Supercross that's not Arena Cross. That's not an Arena Cross set.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Sweet.
Nice. Possible Thursday night motocross on the anniversary race coming up in the summer, or to be determined?
I got to be there. I got to be supporting the Wilders. Yeah, no, Ron, Rick, they always do a good job. I always like seeing them, and Thursday night's awesome. That's a good event.
All right. Final question for you, because I know a few years ago you're doing like support programs and whatnot. Like, how can people support you for the rest of the season?
Oh man, just follow along. Just follow along. I've got a nice Instagram that's been going off the wall lately. So yeah, just follow that thing, man. It's been awesome. We always like the fans. Try to keep it entertaining.
All right, sweet. Any sponsors you want to shout out before we wrap up?
All my people, man. Even when you hit that Instagram, you guys know who my people are. So all my family, friends, fans, all you guys are awesome.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, thanks for jumping on. I know we adjusted the scheduling here, and looks like you're eating dinner still, but we appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me. This is cool, man. I really wish the most success for you guys, and keep on trucking.
Sweet. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have you on when you wrap up this title here so we can all celebrate together.
I like your thinking, man. Nice. I like it.
All right. Well, thanks, Ryan, for coming on. For anyone that wants to follow Ryan Breece, what's your Instagram?
Ryan Breece 200.
Awesome. Ryan Breece 200. Stay up to date. He's 9 points down, and he's going to take this title away from Kyle Peters.
We got to keep running, man. Keep on racing. Keep on racing. I think that's the best thing we could do.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time, Ryan. Grayson, anything else before we let him go?
No, I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, Gravy. Appreciate it, Gate Drop Productions. Keep it real, y'all.
Sweet. Have fun with your break, and we look forward to updating everyone once Daytona runs around.
Yeah. Me and my guy, Seth, will keep it going.
Okay. Wait. Hey, Seth. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Catch you later.
See ya.
All right. As promised, Ryan Breece eating spaghetti.
That's perfect.
Right at the tail end, but we got all the scammers and whatnot. I've been right-clicking and booting them out of our chat. So, hey, we're getting some followers and bots and whatnot. And yeah, we got Ryan Breece on, and we'll jump more into all of his stuff. He's 9 points down from the points lead going into the final 4 rounds. I think Kyle Peters is sweating.
I think he is too. I don't think he's had anybody in the past few years that has pushed him as hard as Ryan has been these last couple weekends. And I only hope for great things from him. I love arena cross racing, and it's not quite supercross level, like you said, that's the dream to get to there, but I feel like getting an arena cross championship or even, top 3 in an arena cross championship is a big deal nowadays. These guys are fast, and it's some tough, hard, tight racing.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've watched or documented much of Ryan in the past, but he will throw down. He is aggressive. He'll do it.
I've seen some LCQ races with him. He's not afraid to get in there if he needs to, and that's what you need. You need to have that aggressiveness, and I think he has it. He's one of the first people to show up in the last few years that has the same aggression and want to win as Kyle Peters. So I think it's awesome.
Sweet. Well, we'll have to look forward to see what goes on. They get a break. Supercross gets a break. Do we get a break? Do you want to take a break, or do we just roll in with an off-season episode next week?
I think we go in with an off season. Maybe we'll actually hit that 30 minutes rather than the hour we've been hitting.
Well, if you want topics and whatnot, feel free to comment, message us, whatnot, what you want us to talk about. If you want us to bring an amateur on, Walker Knop, he is a big follow right now, 30,000 followers on Instagram. He's up and coming amateur. Maybe we'll get Knop on, or who knows?
That'd be cool. I was talking with Evan Terlecki a couple weekends ago.
Dude, Terlecki had some issues at arena cross. We could talk about that for another hour.
There we go. That kid, I feel like he's either on rails or has some kind of issue, unfortunately. The kid's awesome, and I love the guy. He's going to do some great things, but I feel like it's one or the other with him.
Yeah, well, if you want to line up some guests for next week, I'm willing to roll with it, and we'll call it the Gravy Gate Drop Show.
I'll hit up the few people I know and see if anybody's down.
All right. Anything that grinds your gears, or did we have a pretty mellow weekend?
I think this was a mellow weekend. I'm kind of glad for that. We'll take it as a win. Nothing pushed me over the edge this time. Yeah,
the only thing that, it didn't push me over the edge, but just a friendly reminder, I'm not a time traveler. If you want media from any media people, please hit them up before racing is concluded, because when you hit me up at 8:00 at night after racing's concluded, there's 100% chance I got nothing of you.
Yep. Or as soon as you're pulling out of the parking lot, hey, did you get a picture of me? Did you shoot me a message before you went out on the track? No? Well, then probably not.
That's just my pro tip. I don't want to sound like, a meanie, but
maybe we'll get into that, like you said, the hard side of the media program.
Yeah.
That could be our episode next week.
Besides that, Facebook was wild. I'm just gonna leave it as that. It was wild, and we'll see what goes on in the Pacific Northwest. Coming up this weekend, we were gonna have Devin from Horn Rapids on, but he is cranking away right now. This coming weekend is the Black Widow opener, rounds 1 and 2, Saturday and Sunday. I will be there. Grayson will be not there.
No.
He's just gonna do something. So that's a wrap for this weekend.
Maybe we'll get into some Twitch streaming of some Monster Energy Supercross or something.
That, or I don't know, we could have our battle discussion next Monday on what's the best video game for dirt bikes and which one sucks the worst.
That could be fun. I've got one right behind me here, the EA Sports Supercross up top here.
Oh.
So I've got some knowledge. We could break that down. That'll be fun.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll do some recaps of Horn Rapids as well, because I will be there. If you want Instagram reel or photos, make sure to message me. Dustin says MX Bikes. I haven't played that, but
I'm too broke for a gaming PC, so that one will be a little ways away.
And like I said, if anyone wants to have us discuss any topics or even come on the show, if you're interesting enough, feel free to reach out to us. Make sure to follow myself, GateDrop_Pro on Instagram, and Gate Drop Productions on Facebook and on the web. Grayson, what is your tags?
Instagram, I've got gravy_648. Facebook, find me at Gravy Photography or just my name, Grayson Robinson, my personal page as well. Just recently started X, or formerly known as Twitter. So that is Gravy_XX. So look for that one.
XX. So close. Almost triple X. There's some stories there. All right. Well, we're 30+2. We're going farther. So thanks, Ryan Breece, for coming on.
That was awesome. I'm stoked that we were able to get him 2 weeks in a row now. We've had some big names. Let's keep this ball rolling.
Max Miller, we're coming after you.
Yep, right there too. Where it is.
Yeah. All right, sweet. We'll have to get Carson Brown on eventually. I know he definitely can make a 1 hour show into a 2 hour show.
Oh, for sure.
Stay tuned for the future and keep telling everyone and sharing 30+2 podcast. Thanks, Grayson. We will see you next Monday.
Thanks. Later.